Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Football Diaries. Okay, where should I start? Um, as you can see, another loss, two losses on the bounce. Crazy match. I can't even can't even begin to fully understand what precisely went wrong. But let us try and see. So as always, I do team performance and then my own personal performance. As a team in our game, we start off as usual, very well. We matched them in almost every aspect of the game. We scored. It was basically 1-1 at the end of the first half. We, in my opinion, were the better team definitely overall. Tactics worked really well. We pressed them well, pressed them as a unit. Our shape was strong, playing 4-4-2. They were playing five-man midfield. As you can imagine, strikers obviously helping out the midfield. We scored first. I scored that goal. And then they equalised and they went into the game and they went into half-time 1-1. Now, the first goal we scored, as I said, I scored, which I'm very happy about because I haven't scored in quite a few weeks, quite a few games. And I think the goal was coming, definitely. I think the goal was coming. We looked the threat going forward. The defence didn't look very settled because we didn't let them. What else? So the goal, basically. I think it was either a throw-in for us that got the defender tried to clear it, but his defensive header was poor. It didn't go out very far. It dropped to just outside the box. I took one touch, and then second touch just literally gave it such a wallop, and it went straight in bottom corner. I'm very happy with that goal. Good goal. It's about time I scored a shot from range, to be honest with you, because that is one of the best. Yes, that is one of the best weapons in my arsenal, and I haven't been able to use it a lot for Civil effectively. And maybe it's coming back to me. Like Thor's hammer. Maybe it's returning. We shall see as the weeks go on. So then after that goal, we carried on playing well, and then unfortunately, it was I would say an individual error from our goalkeeper, unfortunately, which allowed them to score their goal, which made us go into 1-1 into half time. As with most matches, as you know, if you can keep that clean sheet going into half time, it's mentally it's different, and usually it will you both take that kind of positivity and momentum into the second half. Not that we did in that cup game. We did actually, to be fair, for most of the second half. But what I'm trying to say, letting them concede that goal, I think was very, very devastating because obviously they were getting confidence from that. The momentum might switch back to them in the second half and and give them belief basically. 1-0 is nothing anyway. Most good teams always have belief they can come back, but that clean sheet going to half time would have helped us a lot in that game. But then the second half, we just as a team we weren't good defensively, but I think for the first time, possibly in all of my games for Civil, the main reason why we conceded the goals we conceded were from individual mistakes or individuals not doing their duties defensively, not just the defenders themselves, but also midfielders and strikers. In terms of tracking back, following your runners, leaving the defence exposed, with a man extra on the overlap. And they basically scored, I think it was 3 goals in like 5 minutes. It was ridiculous. And obviously, the win goes out of yourselves and it's uphill back from there. But credit to us, we actually kept fighting, kept pushing, kept working, and they were scared. They were scared of us, and we scored a second goal, which is I think it was a little bit lucky. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not just saying that because I wanted, I don't want it to compete with my goal, but it was one of our new players, Smithy, left foot shot that was kind of sliced, wind assisted maybe, I don't know, but beat the keeper. Keeper positioning was a bit poor. Maybe the flight of the ball caught him off guard, but lobbed him off my side of the box. And great, great. We scored, and momentum was actually with us at that time. They were kicking themselves, and we thought maybe a miracle could happen, but it was difficult because then we didn't concede another stupid goal on the counter attack because we gave away possession easily. We were giving away possession left and right, in positions that meant that because obviously as a striker, you have certain defensive duties, especially in our formation, but it's impossible for you to implement them if you give away the ball in situations that you never should, either from the defence or in the midfield. And obviously if the midfielders get the ball and you're on the attack, see, this is the problem. When you're on the attack, strikers obviously are going to make certain movements to give the midfielders options to pass. But then if you lose the ball, what are the attacking players going to do? Absolutely zip. They can't get back in time to make two banks of four or whatever it's going to be because it's a counter-attack to them, and we suffered from that. Our possession play was poor. Individually, we were very poor at the back. Definitely the worst defensive display I've ever seen of Civil personally. And I think we really do miss Yatesy. Yatesy, if you're watching, please come back because, I have a lot of respect for Jonesy as a defender. Alex as well. I love our team's defence in general, but I feel that, with our fullbacks being primarily attacking players, Craigie's an attacking player, Tom attacking player, not really fullbacks by any defensive, in any defensive way, shape or form. They are attacking players, through and through, but obviously are playing in defence. And I think with that, we need to have our best central defensive partnership, which in my opinion is Yatesy and Alex. And when we don't have that, as good a job as Jonesy can do for us, I think the leadership that Yatesy provides for Alex and for our back line, I think it shows. It shows because we just get exposed for the fact that we don't have enough natural defenders. And what can we do? What can we do? Especially if you have Lucas and Langers out wide as well for 4-4-2. I think we need to have our best central defensive partnership because the fullbacks are going to need all the organisational help they can get because our wingers, again, are not naturally going to track back as much as maybe they should. But yeah, it was just, it was madness. And then they scored a few more goals, end up being 6-2. It's painful, absolutely painful. I think as well, I don't know, it's becoming a trend. We spoke about this in change room after the game. John just spoke about it himself. And I think there is a fitness issue in our team. It's not a massive issue because physically I thought we compete with most teams we play pretty much on an even keel. But it's just on a technical level, we start to struggle in the second half because physically it's not always necessarily very obvious to me anyway as a team as a whole. Maybe in certain individual players, as a team as a whole, I don't think physically it's like blatantly obvious that we're lacking fitness-wise. I wouldn't say that. I would say that we're 20% off where we need to be fitness-wise so that we can impose our technical superiority on the opposition. Because too many matches in the second half, we start to make mistakes on technical level that are beneath us, giving away possession easily, whether it's in attacking position, making poor decisions, or, struggling to execute certain, dribbles that normally you would have before, whatever it may be, and even, poor judgments defensively as well from fatigue. We're just doing things that are beneath us as players. And it happens too often. And I think maybe that is the thing that's going to turn our season around. It's just getting that 20% extra fitness so that we can keep our technical level and our football brain level where it needs to be to see matches out, to steamroll teams, 4-5-0. Because we have the ability to do that. but we're not able to show it, which is very frustrating. Now, you know, you, we could always say let's do some more fitness at training and stuff, but I feel like Duncan as a coach, he's more into getting fitness as you play with tactics and stuff, which I think is good. And he's not very much into his fitness stuff. But I don't think the responsibility should lie on him. I think we don't need that much like fitness, just a little bit, just that cherry on top. And I think that responsibility should lie on ourselves. Because I myself, for example, when I thought I wasn't fit enough, I did extra stuff before training and in the gym. And as I said in the previous Football Diaries, it turns out that wasn't the issue. The issue was the training I was doing in the gym, and I've changed that and so on. But you've got to take it upon yourselves, because I think what's affecting us this season is defensively we haven't been as good as we have in the past. Going forwards, I think some ways we're better than last season, other ways we're about the same. But I think the biggest thing for me as a unit is defensively we haven't been as good. That's sometimes unavoidable because of not being able to have our strongest lineup out. And hold on, what was my point? Yes, sorry, I remember now. So defensively not being as good as last season. Well, when I was there anyway, and also I think our best players, our game changers, haven't found their best form, including myself, because I class myself as one of our better players. And sometimes I think you have to be a man and sometimes put names to faces. And and I have to say Lucas, I think is one of our better players. He's one of our potential game changers, and I think he hasn't been at his best consistently. And part of that, I think personally, is to do obviously with fitness, in the sense of that in a lot of games I've watched Lucas play in the second half. I mean, to be fair, not in the last game. Last game, I thought actually, to be honest with you, he was actually quite good consistently overall. But in previous games, in the second half, I've seen his performance drop. And from what I can see with my eyes, it looks like due to fatigue. And I think we're suffering from that because he's one of our best players, one of our game changers. And I think too many of our game changers have been missing in terms of not being their best. Paolo, I think we miss him because obviously he was injured. And he's our game changer, one of our game changers in terms of not just ability, but his leadership and tactical awareness on the pitch. I myself, my performances have been up and down. I've played better in the last 2 games, but again, haven't been my very best. I think we've been affected by that, obviously. And Lucas, a new player this season, but again, one of our game changers, hasn't been at his potential best. And and so on and so forth. Other players as well, like defensively, Yates being missing, a game changer in terms of that last-ditch tackle, all that kind of stuff. I feel like Alex plays better when he's with Yatesy at the back as opposed to with Jonesy. Maybe it's just a teamwork thing, an understanding, I don't know, something in the air, something mystical, who knows. Stuff like that, And Tone, our fullback, being injured as well. All these little details of our best players, our game changers, people that will make the difference for us, I think, not being at their best for various reasons or being injured, I think has affected us, taking us to the next step. But yeah, so I think those are the things that somehow we need to try and address. So players go to the gym, do something extra to get that 20% extra fitness that you need to keep your performance at a high level. Our best players coming back from injury. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to play better, consistently. And we've still got quite a few games left. We're still, we're approaching halfway through the league campaign, and this league is so tight that I haven't lost hope. It's very slim, very unlikely, but I haven't lost hope because we know we can beat every single team in our league. But yeah, so if I look at myself, my own personal performance, I think it was up and down in parts. I think I didn't start the first half on firing all cylinders. I think because the warm up was not as intense and prolonged as it normally is. There's a bit of miscommunication and misunderstanding of time and stuff, of how much time we had before we started. But that's not anyone's fault. I think at our age and our experience levels, you can take warm up into your own hands. If you can't just walk around and expect people to tell you when to warm up. If you need to warm up, get cracking. But yeah, so I didn't start the game firing all cylinders like I did in the previous game, because I think I was still getting my first blow, wasn't fully warmed up and in the zone. But I think I grew into the game, played better and better, started to have more influence, and then got my goal, which I was very happy about. So I think overall, first half was good performance by myself overall. Second half, I think my performance suffered from various things. Overall, second half, I would say it was an average performance for myself. I think as I was saying, my performance suffered from various things. I think the performance level dropped myself personally in the second half was because of one, not being as much, not being in the game as much, because our team wasn't able to dominate throughout. Obviously, as a striker, you rely heavily on your teammates, obviously, to supply the ball, to dominate the game, so we get more touches, more give and goes, that kind of stuff. My game suffered also because I think when we conceded those 3 goals, basically the match was over. Obviously, we're going to fight, and we did fight and keep playing. But I think for myself, I felt a definite drop of adrenaline. That kind of buzz, that adrenaline when you're literally engines are firing and your mind is like, come on, let's do it. I think that drop of adrenaline, I think, did affect me slightly in terms of my performance. So there was that. Team not dominating the game, so you get less of the ball, less control possession of the ball anyway. We still get those balls into the channel, but not going to do too much with that. And I think other than that, the rest was just some slight poor technical aspects of my game, poor passing here and there. But overall, I think second half was average, first half was good. So overall, okay. I think, it wasn't the performance I was looking for overall, but to be honest with you, I think there was enough there for me to believe that how I played last week was not just a one-off, and I am building towards a level of consistency that will benefit myself and the team. And I have turned a corner. I think there's enough in that performance for me to believe that I have turned a corner personally, and for me to be happy with. So I'll keep thinking positive, despite things not going my way. But one thing I think I have to say is that, one, I think I need to become more selfish in terms of when I am 1-1 with a defender, when I'm facing goal, I either commit to beating him or I have a shot on goal. Because I'm too self-aware of the team sometimes or situations, and I want to hold the ball and try and look for somebody else. And those moments of hesitation give the defender a chance to recompose himself and then, make a decision. Because at the end of the day, I am a striker, and I know some of my teammates will get upset if I do try and shoot from certain angles and certain positions, or do try to beat a man. But I think I am the striker, and unlike other players in our team, I am judged 90% on my goals, as all strikers are. If I don't score, I could do anything I want to do in the match, but people will be disappointed, and it will automatically lower their judgment of my performance because of that. And I think I need to be more selfish, because there's a chance in the second half when Lucas played me an amazing pass. He is delicious, P. Amazing pass. I took a good first touch, like Michael Owen, welcome 98. and the ball was bouncing, and I could have shot. In my mind, I just had the feeling, shoot. But again, as too often this season, I hesitated and I changed my mind, and I thought, let me seize. Do I have somebody else supporting me? Can I pass it? And well and truly, the pass Lucas played me was for me to be through on goal. I shouldn't be thinking about our teammates supporting me. My attacking midfielder just played me a pass that I controlled well, and I was 1-on-1 with a fat cack centre-back. I should have that lethal Van Nistelrooy mentality, that Ronaldo mentality of, I'm taking this touch and I'm going for it. I'm either going to beat him for pace or I'm going to shoot and get a shot on target. But too often I hesitate and I think about the team before I think about myself. And I think that needs to change, and I'll become hopefully more lethal and get more goals for our team that way. And yeah, I think that's the thing with myself. The other thing as well is we need to. I think our training. I need to bring this up again, because too often I win flick-ons and no one is getting seconds. One time we did get a good opportunity for my flick-on, and I think Ben followed it up well. But too often I get flick-ons and no one is there. And it's like, as a team, we're losing one of our best weapons. You have a striker who, more often than not, wins headers, and no one is following on. Especially in yesterday's game where Fash was not playing it short to our fullback's feet and was kicking it long almost every single time. If no one gets the second ball and I win it, what are we doing? We're doing absolutely nothing. And I'll keep it Fash. He's a good lad. I'm a fan of yours, Vash, as a person. But your kicking, G. We need to have a conversation about your kicking. Me and you need to have a sit down, maybe a cup of tea, some crumpets, share a brioche. I don't know, man. Share a shawarma or something, because we need to get that bond, because your kicks, they're never going to return me. I don't understand. It makes me sad. It's like you don't like me. If I stand on this side, kick goes over there. If I stand over there, kick goes over here. We need to have a conversation, man, and get that bond so that when you kick, go straight to me, because we're wasting one of our big weapons. But anyway, that's all I've got to say about that performance. It was a shame we lost. There's a positive take from there. Massive game next Saturday. Derby against a team that everyone hates, in our team anyway. And hopefully, as a team, we can turn a corner and just keep going. And I myself can keep improving, because I think I have turned a corner, and hopefully the goals will keep coming and I'll keep helping my teammates. All right, the end. Have a nice Sunday evening, boys and girls. Bye.